Hello and welcome to Real Menopause Talk. My guest today is Christine Legat-Conquy. Christine and her husband Christophe have a set of converted farmhouse apartments and an adjacent restaurant in the south of France near Uzès. Christine and I met when my family and I went to stay in one of her apartments that is part of Mastézoul for our summer holiday a few years ago. You know those discoveries you're sometimes lucky enough to make and you want to tell everyone about it because it's so wonderful, but at the same time you want to keep it to yourself? That is Mastézoul. Idyllic setting, amazing food in the restaurant, great location, and people you just love spending time with. Since our first visit, Christine and I have become friends, and so she agreed to talk with me about her experience so far of menopause. Christine, very lovely to see you. How are you? And do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hello, Hattie. It's very nice to participate to your podcast about real menopause talk, and for me it's challenging because I'm French and I've heard all English wonderful women that gave their testimony. And so I'm 52, living in south of France. Since 4 years, I've changed my life. And I think, I don't know if because I changed or if because was the moment for perimenopause, but everything has changed, my life and, my feeling. But let me explain a little more. So I used to live in Paris and I used to work in architecture to promote architecture. So I used to work in a very well-known agency, architecture agency, and I did communication. And after 25 years, decided to have my own communication agency. So it was a new step. And I met my husband, Christophe, because I had two boys, Adrian, which is now 24, and Hugo, which is now 22 years old. I can say that I was alone to bring them up. So I decided, to do by myself, to work a lot and to have my two big boys. And I met Christophe when I was, more than 40. That means it was 8 years. So I got married 4 years. And so we moved just after our wedding in south of France. So, that's my life right now. I'm living in south of France in a very nice venue that This is a touristic venue. We have 8 houses to rent for holidays, and we can organize events. It's a beautiful place, and I'm living in such a beautiful nature. It's close to Nîmes, Avignon. It's just perfect life, and with a perfect man, which is very tolerant and so sweet. We are lucky, and I feel lucky, but, my body sometimes, have some strange thing. And at any moment, I was thinking it could be menopause. Mm-hmm. So that means I had night awakenings a lot since few months with sweat things and concentration problem and digestion problem. And because in France, nobody is talking about menopause, at any moment, I thought that it could be, perimenopause. Mm-hmm. Because I have my period coming sometimes. So for me, I know something was changing, but for me, it was stress. And of course, we had the COVID crisis. So we all are stressed, and moreover in tourism, because everything is changing. So when I wasn't sleeping well at night, I woke up at 2 in the morning and at 5 in the morning and try to change, and nothing has changed. I said, okay, this is the stress.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen doctors and talking about it, and nobody said, yeah, maybe you are 42, sorry, you are 52 years old, and it could be, perimenopause.
So no doctor has said that to you. It's all been your own detective work.
You're right. I've been, follow with the same gynecologist for 25 years, and she knows perfectly me. And each time, maybe I was thinking about this when I met her. I said, maybe for me it's time for menopause. She said, okay, we will do a blood test, and we will check. And the blood test was negative. So she said, no. And you have your period? So no, this is not a subject. So, in my family, the menopause is always talk with the stop of the periods.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't talk a lot about it, because maybe we are thinking that when you are in menopause, you are old. And so this is not, the time to talk about it. And so, no, my doctors said, check my breast, check everything, but said, okay, we will talk about it. Well, you won't have your period. So with my awakening problem, I've been to consult my doctor. You have a normal doctor, and ask for help. And she said, no, you have your parents. I don't know what to say. And so I made my own research on internet, because, I woke up 2 times at night, and I was, sweating in my head. I said, okay, the only thing I heard about menopause is sweating.
Mm-hmm.
This is, you have stop of the period, and the only thing about women, there are a lot of sweating. Poor woman, sweating. But me, it was not a lot of sweating. It was, combined to the lack of sleeping. But in my head, I said, okay, maybe this is it. And I did some research on internet, and I've seen, of course, a lot of women, and you can heard about doctors talking about it. I checked your list of 18, and I have a lot of it. Of course, it's not only two things, but anxiety, feeling tired, concentration, and a lot of. And so now I know I'm in a perimenopause.
Welcome.
Thank you, Betty.
There are 15.5 million of us in the UK alone, so we're a big club. Not everybody necessarily knows they're in it like you, but yes, there are 48 and growing symptoms. The more that people are researching into perimenopause, there are plenty of symptoms. And we've discussed a lot over the last couple of months that it's really difficult to unpick what is perimenopause and what is life, particularly with the pandemic. And certainly if you're running your own business or you have older parents or kids to take care of, that stress can induce some of the similar symptoms. And interestingly, often our perception over here of French women is that they know these things and they just get on with it. This is the way the French women do it. So this is the way we want to do it because it works for them. Look at them. They're all managing brilliantly. So it's very interesting to hear that your doctors are not really open to the idea of this section of time before actual menopause occurs. How are you managing it currently? Are you doing anything to make yourself feel better, to manage with the stresses and the symptoms?
Okay, so my personality is to be, anxious woman. So everything that changed in my life get some stress to me. It always has been like this. So the menopause is something new, though, that stressed to me. But the second step, when I'm stressed, I'm trying to find a solution.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like this, in a bed sleeping and say, oh, poor Christine. No, I try to find a solution. So, of course, I check with doctors and try to check if it's not something, very hard like a cancer. I don't know, and because you don't know, sometimes you can have something difficult. And when I said it's perimenopause, I try, the homeopathy. I'm talking with a naturopath, helping me, for the digestion and the stress. I do yoga, a lot of yoga. I used to practice for a long time. And since, the pandemic, every morning when I woke up, I have 30 minutes of yoga. And I think it helped a lot. And so the fleur de back flowers, do you know that?
Yes.
It's a lot of things I try. And this is a combination. Sometimes I had some massage, sometimes I have a reflexology, and I think, this all I try can help me. And if I have some day where I am in a very bad mood, and very stressed, and I don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. Even, if I try to be positive, okay, everything's okay, it's inside. You cannot do anything that just, be negative. So when it's a bad day, I go out in the nature and I walk during 30 minutes because I have to work. Mm-hmm. It's not like you are sick and you go to see a doctor and say, so just give me, a stop for 3 days, because Christophe and I are working for ourselves. Mm-hmm. And even when I'm working for my press communication agency, I can't stop. So that means even when it's a bad day, I have to work. So I'm working, I'm doing yoga, I'm trying to, to be positive. And I wait for the next day. And sometimes the next day is good. So.
Yeah, walking in nature is one of the most underestimated therapies. Just being able to breathe fresh air and look at greenery. Looking at greenery genuinely calms the nervous system.
Yeah, it's great, to see that women can do it by themselves. Mm-hmm. Because I think this is a lot of things together to share, and that's why I want to participate, to share and to hear, the different testimony and how women are doing that can help you when you're bad, and to say, okay, I'm not alone, and you can do it. You can do it because I heard that it won't last.
Yes.
It won't last forever. And I love a lot one of the testimony. It was a woman that said that a woman's life is like seasons. Mm-hmm. And she said that menopause was fall, and explaining during the fall, it's a nice period where everything's changing, lost leaves and everything. But after you're a little bit stressed because you said, it's winter, and I have the feeling that after winter, and you are old, but not at all, she said. But after winter, you have the new spring and another summer. And for me, I have this in mind, and I thank her because really it's a nice image that helped me a lot.
It is. It's a beautiful image and a very positive one, which I think is another thing that we need. How have your symptoms affected you with your relationships, with your work relationships, with Christophe, with your family?
So for my work, I'm a professional woman, and, I've learned that you don't have to show when you are bad. So, of course, the body can see it, I think. But, sometimes I'm very sad with my family and my husband, which is so nice because with him, sometimes I can be fake, and sometimes when I'm in bad mood, it's irritable. So this is for him, and it is really nice. And I try to explain to him, what I'm feeling. I can, change it. So it's nice, and I'm going work outside because we're working together, so we're a lot of time together. I spoke to my children. I said that I feel bad sometimes, and this is menopause. But the men, young men like my boss or the men, even when they are nice, they don't want to talk a lot in front about it. It's like this is a woman problem, which is more tricky for me is with my friend. I have a very best friend for a long time, and we never talked about it. And now that I know that my problems are due to the menopause, of course, I'm, speaking about it and saying, and it's quite the same. Some women said, some friends said, okay, me, yeah, had the same. And this is no way more conversation. Like, it's in a Pandora box. It's like a secret. That's really weird. So my best friend Florence, when I said I discovered that all my problem could be menopause, she said, oh yes, me either. For 4 years before, I have no periods for more than 1 year. And I talk about it to a gynecologist, and he said, no, but it could be normal. And so she said to me, okay, the doctor said it's normal. And me, in my head, I said, it's not normal. And now I'm talking about it to her. And she told me, oh, yeah, really, because I told you a few years that I haven't my period. I haven't had my period again. So I think it's like you. I'm in a menopause. And, like this, just like this. But how could it be like this? Yeah. She is in a menopause since 4 or 5 years, and that means when she is because I know her, and she had bad days and depression and all the symptoms we are talking about, but it wasn't menopause. It was just a woman that had problem. And she had problem with her husband because she sometimes everything is not well, but it wasn't menopause. So even with friends, it's not like suddenly we will have a conversation about it and we'll learn things. No, it's only your podcast that helped me to learn about it.
The way I've been lucky enough to talk to friends, it has opened up the door to discovering new things with each other. Some are a little bit older than me, some are about the same age. So we've been able to compare and contrast how we've been feeling. And without that, I don't know where I'd be. But there are still women who, even when they find out that I'm doing this podcast, they very much shut it down and acknowledge it and say, oh, well, that's very nice. Anyway, how is the weather, for example? Mm-hmm. But I think that comes from society's history.
You're right. And I think English society and French society are really different. I think so. We are in the past, like women with their menopause, you don't have to speak about it. I don't know, but the women that are my friend are all like me, independent women, they are working for a long time. They are, they are great. And we can talk about everything. It's not because I wonder. I said, maybe it's just, my friend and where I'm, living. But I don't think so. I think it's cultural. It's like a puzzle. With a puzzle, we can feel better. No, mm-hmm. So I have to investigate by myself, and everyone is doing like this. That's why I want to participate and do this testimony.
So ideally, how would you like to change it? How would you like the perception of menopause to be?
Me, I have the feeling I'm in a tunnel. You know what is a tunnel? A black tunnel. And this is, a moment of my life, and I'm crossing, a board. And it's nice to be a tunnel because the perception is you will go out and it will be something different. So I'm not scary about it. Of course, sometimes I feel bad, but I'm expecting something different. Of course, it will be a new period of my life, and I hope to participate, with my testimony and my experience, because I'm talking about the other and trying to pushing them. So, yeah, I hope, to make this period of my life, something new, and to feel better and to find solution to feel better to all the symptoms, and to help women, and maybe help young women. My boys, I have girlfriend, and one of her called Jessica, that we had a lot of talk and open talk. It was really nice. But of course, she's part of English with her mother, so that means she's maybe quite different from French girl, but she had an open mind, and it was really great, to share my experience, her experience, because she's 22. That means, like 7 years before she was, with first period or something like this. But I want to talk about it. I want push people to talk about it, even men. This is, this is my goal, And even if people say, Christine, again, talking about menopause, please give up and give a break, give a break. I say, no way, because, I won't keep it like a secret, because I don't feel well if it's a secret that I wear. And I think we all are women that feel younger and younger year after year. I don't know what to say, because like 50 years before, I remember when you see a movie that when you were 50, you look very old, and the style of woman, and the way they have their haircut look like, grandma. But now, like you are 40 or 50, 60, you can look very great and feel young. That doesn't mean you have to play, to be younger, but you feel young. Of course, you have some problem. Inside is not very young, but in your mind, you have to think you are young, and you have to say that. Even in menopause, you can feel young. Look at Jane Fonda. She's just a proof for woman that, she feels young. She's not young like a 20 years woman, but I don't know, when you see some woman like this, they just want to feel young, and it's a success, Well, this is, every day what I'm trying to pursue me,
Exactly.
It's like a mantra, and that mantra is working. Every day you say that, and push you in the right side.
If you were to offer one suggestion to another woman, what is your one thing that you would like to say to them?
I think, the menopause is really different for each woman. And the menopause we have is the menopause we are. That means emotionally, if you are someone that are with great emotion, will be worse, of course. And so I just want to say that just hear yourself, your intuition. But if you hear what you are deeply, you will find a solution, because now with internet, you can just get some question and find a solution, and after see doctor, see whatever people you want to see. Start from yourself. So just hear yourself, and if you feel that you have something that's starting, just be kind with yourself. Be kind with yourself. And even when, people just put you in a case, said, you are like this, or like, no, not at all. Only you, yourself, can know what you are. And I will finish with, this is what is great when you are 50, because you have 50 years behind you. So the maturity is present, because it's easy for you to analyze what happened to you than when you were very young, because you had children. Even when you don't have children, you had so many moments good and bad, and you always find a solution, because everything can have a solution.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you so much, Christine. Thank you for being here and taking part and sharing so much with everyone.
Well, I know I'm a little bit frustrating, because in France I'm talking a lot, but my English is not so well. So I would like to say more and be more precise. So sorry for my English. I hope it will help some other women, and it's really great to participate. Thank you to do that, Ati. Thank you very much from south of France. Hope to see you soon in London. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye. Christine has a beautiful Instagram account of the gorgeous Mastizoul and of personal events, so I will put her details in the show notes for something for you to enjoy. If you would like to share your story, please drop me an email, hattie@realmenopausetalk.com. That's Hattie, Hatty, as I would love to hear from you. Thanks for listening, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.